Hi everyone, it's Kent Barber here, and welcome back to another C++ tutorial on creating plugins for Cinema 4D. Uh, Yesterday's tutorial we created our first object, but there was a little problem here, so I'm just going to tell people how to fix it. Now, the problem was that we created some of these polygons, and they had what was called the normal was facing the wrong direction. Now, if you don't know what the normal is, you can essentially, if you imagine holding a piece of paper up in front of you with an arrow pointing out of it towards you. And if you can see that arrow, like this one here, if you can see that arrow facing you on the piece of paper, imagine holding it in your hand, then you're going to see the bit of paper. But if you turn that piece of paper around, now the arrow is turning around slowly as well, then the arrow will end up being facing the other direction, and as soon as it's facing the other direction away from you, that piece of paper in your hand would disappear. And that's essentially what the normal is. It's that arrow on the paper. And if it's pointing away from you, then you might not see it, especially if you're in like in a game engine and you're using what's called backface culling, which avoids drawing extra polygons when it doesn't need to. Now to view that in Cinema 4D, we can come up to Options and go down to backface culling. And if we enable that, we'll see that our cube here has some problems. We've got an issue with the one at the back on the -Z, because we can't see it there. If I turn around, you're seeing the positive Z1 is okay. We've got the positive X is okay, but if I was to, well, you can see, since we can see it there, it's kind of wrong already, because if we rotate around, we're not going to see it at all, so there's a problem with the -X, and there's also a problem with the positive Y. You see they've got a hole in the top of our cube, and if we rotate down, we're going to see it, so it's facing the wrong direction. And you can also see these if we just click on the polygon here, and let's select the polygon. First, I need to make this editable, so I'll make it editable. If we select the polygon, we're going to see that this normal, which is pointing out in the z-axis, is pointing that way. If we select this one here, you can see it's pointing inwards, so it's wrong. It should be pointing outwards. So imagine that there's our piece of paper. It's pointing away from us, so we don't see it. As soon as we turn it around, now it's starting to face towards us, we're seeing it. So we need to turn that one around as well. And then similarly with the one up the top there, it's this one up here is facing down, and it should be facing up. But the other ones are all actually correct. So let's jump back into the code now and have a look. Now, if we want to figure out which ones they are, you just need to look for the ones that have the same axis value that we're kind of looking for. So if we want to look for the one that had a problem on that positive Y, then we just look through here in our points to find the ones where the Y is positive. So we've got X, and then Y, and then Z. So the positive ones are 1, there's a 1 there, there's a 1 there, there's a 1 there, and a 1 here. So that's 6, 7, 2, and 3. Now that is this one here. So this one is going around the wrong way. So to fix this, all we need to do is reverse the order of these numbers. So this is what's called polygon winding. So if you can imagine drawing a line from point 3 to point 2 to point 6 to point 7, at the moment it's going in an anti-clockwise direction, and we want that to actually go in a clockwise direction. We want it to go from here to here, down and back. At the moment it's going the other way. So we just need to reverse that by coming in here and going 7, 6, 2, and 3, and now they're going in the opposite direction. And now you can do the same for the other two. I won't bore you here with figuring out what they are. I'll just tell you which ones they are. They are this one here. So it needs to be going the other way. It needs to be going 4, 7, 3, 0. And likewise with this one as well. This one here is going the wrong direction, the first one. So that just needs to be 3, 2, 1, and 0. So let's just have a look at that. 3, 2, 1, 0. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. And so it's going -1, -1, 0, -1, and then -1, 0. So it's starting off like down here. Then it's going up to positive. Then it's going across. If we were to go 0, 1, 2, 3, it's starting down -1, -1. Then it's going across to 1, -1. And then it was going up to 1, 1. And then it was going across -1 to 1. Now we've changed the order, so now it's starting at 3. It's starting at -1 in the X and 1 on the Y, so starting up here, imagine it. and now it's going across to 1, 1. Now it's coming down to 1, minus 1, so still across on the X, and minus 1 on the Y, and now it's going to minus 1, minus 1. So if you can imagine, if you can see my mouse going cross, cross, now it's going clockwise. If we just draw those on a piece of paper with a grid and we were to go plot them out, it'll be going in a clockwise direction. And so now we should have fixed up all of these. So let's just run this again and see how it looks. So again, clockwise direction, and the normal will be pointing outwards along the z-axis, the positive z-axis, for the local coordinate of whatever it is you're using, of course. So let's just create our cube, and we need to turn that option on again. So I go to Options. I get a drawing problem with this Camtasia recording software, but eventually it comes up. So there we see backface culling, and now you can see everything's looking correct. So everything's pointing in the right direction. Now we can double check this again by turning into an editable object and going to this cube. We can just select any side, and let's just delete that one. Let's just have a look inside. There we go. If we're looking inside, they're all pointing the wrong direction. Well, they're hidden because there's nothing to draw, right? Because now we can see them all because they're visible, but if we were to look into that cube, like start looking inside of it, it would be invisible. So this is backface culling at work. It's not going to draw anything that it doesn't need to draw. So if I was just to put that cube, that plane back from this direction, you can see that's the only thing that the OpenGL renderer actually needs to display to you, because you can't actually see the other ones, and that's why it removes them if their backface culling is enabled. So if I delete that, that's why you don't see anything, because what's the point in drawing them if they're not even facing the camera? And so now we've changed it so that we can see all of them, and they're all pointing in the correct direction. So that's enough for me on that, and we'll move on to the next tutorial.